Welcome to Share Talk, the only podcast where investors come first.
Hi, this is Zach Meir with the Bulletin Board Heroes here on Share Talk for Monday, the 5th of October. Starting off with the VACTA, where it looks like we might finally have the trigger for a breakout buy, breaking that August resistance line on the 20-day moving average at £1.65. Above that, hoping for the top of that rising trend channel from April, which we've been hoping for quite a while. RSI at 56, so right in the zone, just above neutral for a new move to the upside. That's normally a leading indicator if it's above 50, and even the MACD indicator starting to tick up too. So looking reasonably set fair for that. On to Bidstack, which has had a bit of a dance here. Disappointing that the shares had to go back from 8 pence back to what sort of 4.5 or 5 pence, up 5 pence, I suppose, last month. But they're back now. Bounced today off the and Friday off the 50-day moving average at 5.5 pence. While we're above that, looking for a top of May trend channel as high as 9 pence. If you're cautious on the shares, maybe wait for an end of day close above the 200-day moving average at 6.3 pence. Above that, we should get a bit of follow through for the shares. RSI 57, so in the same kind of situation as a VACTA, a bit of a leading indicator there on potential move to the upside. Much less charting data for the next stock, Blenco Resources, but it looks as though we've got the shares falling out or breaking out of a falling wedge, which has been in place since since May. So breaking the 20-day line and that line of resistance from May, just at 5 pence. End of day close above that, the initial trigger for potential move to the upside. If you're cautious, maybe wait for an end of day close above the 50-day line at 5.3 pence. But above that, looking for a return perhaps to the 7.5 pence level, which is where the shares were at the beginning of July, and that's the main resistance over the near term. Interesting situation at Besant, where it looks as though bulls are trying to limber up here for a break of the 0.2 pence level. That was the target when we were down towards the 0.1 pence area, so obviously not bad, doubling the share price from there. But the big prize here would be an end of day or end of week close above 0.2 pence to take the shares onto a fresh leg to the upside, and the top of that trend channel from last October at 0.33 pence, and hopefully that would be seen in the month or so after any end of day close or weekly close above 0.2 on Besant. Stake building news today from Dev Clever, and that seems to have perked up the stock a bit, bouncing off the floor of the rising trend channel from this time last year at 7 pence and breaking that September resistance line projection around 7.5, so above 7.5 on an end of day close basis. And especially above 7 pence, we're looking for the top of the channel at 12 pence for Dev Clever over the next month or so. On to a stock which I know has its fans and has been consolidating for a while, ECR Minerals. Here we have the makings of a break of a falling wedge there from the beginning of August. Just waiting on an end of day close above the 50-day moving average at 1.97 pence to give us the trigger for a top of February trend channel target as high as 2.6 or 2.7 pence over the following month. At this stage, really well below 1.6 pence, really delaying the upside scenario. Requested stock today looks interesting. Keras. Here we had the false dawn break of the 200-day moving average, 200-day moving average bull trap, and then a bear trap below 0.12. But it looks like after giving traders the run around, the shares are back, bouncing off the floor of the March trend channel there at 0.13. And while we hold above that, looking for 0.26 at the top of the March channel. Of course, if you are cautious on this situation, you wait for an end of day close through 0.16, which is the initial September and October resistance for the shares. Difficult to resist looking at Novacyt almost every day, really, I suppose. Very strong looking chart. Had the target of £7, while the shares, or on any break for the shares above £5, but looks as though that's almost a done deal for the shares. Early and end of day close really back below 5.94. really delaying the upside scenario for the stock. The other peak in April 5.29. So while we're above those two levels, looking set fair. And if you are a fan of the shares, maybe you'd be looking for a new target if we break above £7, which would be up to that line of resistance there from February at £10. But don't want to get too carried away at this stage. £7 looks to be the near-term target, maybe over the next couple of weeks or so for Novacyt, while we hold above the £6 area. On to a rather more obscure situation, which is continuing to deliver in spades. Prophotonics. Here we've got shares breaking that initial target there around the 4p area. Looks as though they could head towards that December 2018 resistance line projection around 7.25p at the current rate, maybe by as soon as tomorrow or Wednesday. But anyway, looking like a very strong situation at that particular stock. Stock which is also starting to improve and looking encouraging is Reach. Here the reason for the excitement is really the way that shares gapped up in September, held the gap, and then they've gapped up a second time last month as well. We've broken above that 83p September intraday peak. So an end of day close above that, at or above that today, could take the shares up to the April resistance line projection as high as £1.20, and hopefully as soon as the end of this month. 30 really back below the top of the gap at 73p, delaying the upside scenario. Vela had a lot of fans a couple of weeks back, but obviously we had a rather painful retreat from let's say 0.19 nearly at the best level. Basically down by 2/3, but it looks as though the 0.06 area is or will be the support for the shares. There's an uptrend line there from April, and also previously in April to June, 0.06 was the support area. So above 0.06, looking for at least 0.1p as an intermediate recovery. And obviously after that, we're looking for a retest of last month's best levels. But at least towards 0.1p, I think most people would be happy on any initial rebound. Finishing off with a stock which had a bit of news about Javier on today, Wishbone Gold. Here we have the gap higher off the floor of the rising trend channel at around 3.5p. End of day close above that level should be enough to continue to promise or allow us to look for a top of August trend channel target, currently pointing as high as 8p, and hopefully as soon as the end of next month. 30 back below the 50-day line at 2.6p, really delaying the upside scenario at Wishbone. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.
Thank you for listening. Remember to visit our website for more news and other podcasts at www.share-talk.com.